the initial terror faded, she found herself beginning to smile. Then, as the wind picked up in her hair and she started to feel more comfortable, the tentative smile turned into a full-faced grin. Of course, she was only going about 8 miles an hour, well below the maximum speed, but still, it was actually fun. Really fun. Fun like she hadn't had for a long time. Zoe didn't have a lot of time for fun. She had time for work and time for worrying about finding new clients. But fun? Not so much. She was so preoccupied with her success that it took a moment to notice the man jogging toward her. Once she did see him, though, it was hard to look away. He was tall and spectacularly built, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist, and despite the chill in the air, a full set of biceps helpfully displayed by a sleeveless shirt. He had the long, powerful legs and effortless pace of an athlete, which was to say he was probably going faster than her electric scooter. She was staring so hard at his body, she almost forgot to look at his face. And that was when she realized he was staring right back at her. "Hey, Zoe!" The guy waved, and embarrassment shot through her at the realization that she had been gaping at someone she knew. Her eyes widened. "Connor?" It took a moment for the realization to sink in. The man jogging toward her was none other than Connor Ashton, one of the 3 owners of her firm's biggest client. Levent Capital was a venture capital firm started just a few years ago by 3 hotshot investors local gossip columnists had dubbed the Bad Angels. Connor and his former college roommates Mason Coleman and Nate Etherly. Their firm had grown at an astronomical rate over the years, taking them from a bunch of unknown guys barely out of business school to respected players in the world of high-tech finance. Connor was the quiet, brainy one of the 3, the last to arrive and first to leave, the guy who never called when an email or text would do, the guy whose body was apparently fully capable of doing the talking for him. Damn! The embarrassment deepened as her gaze inadvertently drifted back to his waist, then to the one place it absolutely shouldn't go. She righted her eyes as quickly as she could. What the hell was she doing? Drooling over Connor? Connor was so off-limits he might as well have been her brother. First and foremost, he was part of the small circle that encompassed her best, really only, friends. She didn't relish the thought of bringing hookup drama into that circle. And since her previous relationships existed on a spectrum from bad to awful, that's all it would be. Secondly, professional rules forbade lawyers from having sexual relations with their clients. Getting sanctioned over a casual affair wasn't really high on Zoe's to-do list. So yeah, off limits. She tried to recover from her momentary lapse of judgment with an enthusiastic wave, which turned out to be a huge mistake. Because waving required lifting a hand from the handlebar, which required removing her hand from the brake, which sent the front wheel of the scooter wobbling, which meant that when she panicked and squeezed the throttle, the scooter took off right into the curb. With a shriek, she tripped off the deck and half ran, half flung herself forward. Right into a lamppost. Connor wasn't sure what hit first, her forehead or her nose. Either way, the impact sent Zoe flying backward, stumbling a few times before falling on her butt on the sidewalk. The bleeding started a few seconds later. He swore as he sprinted toward her, concern for her injury mixed with a hint of chagrin for his own behavior. Damn it! He'd waved at her like a 10-year-old who'd just seen his crush. No wonder she'd stared at him strangely just before hitting the curb. She probably thought he was a crazy person trying to flag her down. He crouched down beside her as she touched her nose, which appeared to be the source of the bleeding. Her left hand lay limp on her leg. Had she hurt her wrist when she fell backward? He wouldn't be surprised. He'd seen kids on the basketball team he coached break their wrists from exactly that kind of impact. She hadn't passed out, thank goodness, but she did look dazed, and a substantial knot.